All right, how's everybody doing? Long time no see. Um, I know I've been purging, trying to clear out inventory, trying to get myself down to what I really want. Um, Took out close to 9 boxes out of what I just not long ago did, but then realized that I needed more than that. So I thought what I would do is shoot a few videos of going through some of the boxes in which I have and allow you to kind of see how I think about it and why. At least, if nothing else, you'll see some interesting books that maybe some of y'all haven't seen. Um, this first book was in my childhood collection. This is one of the books in which was saved whenever I originally had to sell my original collection in 12. And again, I've sold multiple collections over time. So selling stuff sometimes doesn't bother me as much as just making sure I keep hold of the right ones. Um, but that wasn't my original. I really need to clean that one up. But it is. Remember going to the spinner rack at the store where my mom would take us up to spend our allowance, and I remember seeing that the first time, thinking, "Man, this is the coolest thing in the world." The fact that it'll tell me everything about every hero that, all the A's. So I did buy another one that's really nice. That is a direct. The other one is my newsstand. I have my original of number 2, and I got a direct at number 2. Again, any of these that are in directs were not my originals. There's number 3 that was my original. Now this is another one I bought later, but I did find a newsstand in that one. So again, um, I figured I'd keep looking for newsstands in each of those. Number 4, um, that one may be my original, like sometimes, but we went through these, me and my best friend and my brother, so much. Number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, and my original number 9. Again, I can always tell the worn out, dirty cover kind of thing that it was my original one. But I got new number 9 that I replaced it with. Number 10, that was in my original collection. And a number 10 direct, in which I replaced the other one with. Now, if any of y'all know this series, of course, number 11, number 12, and if you look, I do have 2 number 12s. Again, this is back when I really liked Wolverine. I mean, in the sense that I still do, but I liked him best then. This would have been the height of a lot of the stuff after his miniseries and everything else and stuff. Was 13 on the back? Yeah. Now 13 started the book of the dead and then active, and this is where Marvel really just, they kind of wanted to put everybody in there to say, oh gosh, this guy died, this happened. He's the only one that really hadn't come back of the main ones. Because you look, there's Mantis, and hey, did you see her in that movie? Yeah, I did too. So it's kind of obvious that she made a return. So, I'm looking through it, and here's another 13 that's in rough condition. Here's number 14. Again, I have another number 14. And the last of that series was number 15. And that's actually where they explain all the stuff that everybody carries. From explains how his claws work. It explains Doc Ock's arms. Uh, you have, I think, Moon Knight's Billy Club and something else, just like it is with Daredevil's. Um, Captain America's shield. It goes through pretty much everything like that. Rom's stuff, the Wizard's stuff. I think his flight disc or something like that. So then after that series finished, they went to a new series, and it was the Deluxe Update. Now, the Deluxe Update did not last as long. I think I had a few of these, but by this point, it was sort of like I had the originals, so I never really pursued these as much at the time. So there's number 2, number 3, and that one was part of my original collection. And number 3, like I said, I was still getting them back and forth, but it wasn't as much interest in them compared to what it once was. And you'll see, because I got big gaps in that now, from number 4, number 5 from my original collection. Number 5, I went back and bought me another one. Then it jumps, as you see, to number 9, number 10, then number 12, and if you notice, Spider-Man now is the black suited Spider-Man. Don't really care for that era once he switched. I love the old original real costume. Number 14 with Wolverine on it there. And again, I used to tie these in with the other ones, but they're not. And that is, these are the deluxe versions of the Book of the Dead ones. There's number 17, number 18, number 19, and an extra number 19. And on the back of that one is, or the front of that one is, hey look, number 14. Yeah, I just happened to stick 2 in that one bag for that. But that was the Marvel Universe in which I had that way. Now, the Marvel premiere I'm about to show you is all the ones I decided I would keep. I did have quite a number that I've slowly phased out. I'm keeping number 29. I'm actually a big Liberty Legion fan. I love the concept of the team, that team during that time. And this is the second part of that, number 30. The Mark of Cain, Solomon King. Again, pulp characters, old school book kind of characters always interest me, especially getting to see stories of them. And that's number 34, which continues his story. And then, even though no one pays attention, this is the first appearance of 3D Man. And it's actually one of those stories I really liked. I really like the character. He's just a fun character. It's really a true throwback to the 1950s. And it ran number 36 and number 37. So I decided I would keep those. Also, another one of those oddball characters like that is Torpedo. And that's number 39, which is one of the Torpedo guys' first appearance. And then 40. Now this is a Tigress story. number 42, which I wanted to keep this one. And this one is Scott Lang's first appearance, and he was Ant-Man to me, because when I started reading comic books, by then Pym had stopped really. He was beyond Yellow Jacket or something like that by then. So there was a two-part of this one, number 47, 48. Now this one, as well as the next one after that, I absolutely love that cover. Love that Falcon at that time. I thought that was just as a very Jack Kirby Falcon up here, where that's not, but that is his first solo story that really happened before they did his mini series. But again, this always was, a great one to me, so that's why I have two of those. This one is another one of those. Again, number 55, Wonder Man in his first solo story. I kept this one because this is Dominic Fortune. Dominic Fortune is also from Atlas. When he switched over, of course, they switched his name to Dominic Fortune. Because again, he's more of a Marvel character at that point. And then my favorite Doctor of all time. And this is his first appearance in American comics, which is, of this one it is. Again, I've got Doctor Who's first appearance in comics from the 60s, which is based out of the movie they did with Peter Cushing in it. But this is Tom Baker and his first appearance before he got his series eventually. Number 58, 59, and finally 60. Again, if you're a Tom Baker fan like I am, it was worth the pick up some of his original first appearances in comic books here in America. Now, next is Zorro. Again, I think I've got one or two left to get of this. These may be actually even extras, but it is a newsstand at that time, so I thought that was pretty good. That's number 7. Number 9. Again, Marvel did it for a little bit, and then Topps took over. And this one absolutely is one of my favorites, even though it does not show Zorro much, because it actually is an Alex Toth doing the woman in red in peril, while actually, if you look, the bad guy, and then him stepping in. So I thought it was just such a beautiful cover for that, especially Toth work. That stuff is just cool to me, to be able to get a hold of his stuff. He's one of those I just love from the old days. Now, this TV show was one of my favorites to watch when I was a kid. I have most of that card series and about a figure or two of that and I'm still working on collecting more of those. That is Battlestar Galactica, just one of those that just sticks with you. I do have 2 of those. I have number 2. Now, this one was one of the ones, not in my original collection, but was in my original collection, if you understand what I mean, is that cover stuck with me because I had this figure. I had a Cylon. My brother had Muffin, or whatever his name was, Muffet. So that is one of the original ones I picked up off the newsstand in the sense of issue-wise. There is number 4, number 5, and I do have 2 number 5s on that. And yes, you will see some of these that I really, really enjoyed. Sometime we'll pick up more than one. Number 6. Number 6. I know this would be an easy way to cut down my stack, is to get rid of all my directs and maybe hang on to my newsstands. And 7. I have thought about that at one point or another. 8. Number 9. Number 10. 11. Starbucks looks like he's about to be in trouble. Number 12. Number 13. Number 14. Number 15. Looks like a continuation sort of what that was before. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. I love this one right here. This looks like a Shankin one. 22, just the way he's drawn, Apollo is. And then finally, last issue, number 23. So again, if you looked at that number 3 that I said I originally had, I don't remember any of the other ones from the newsstand actually being there. So it must have been something that just did not do as well, quote, in the store. So they just kind of shuffled it off and got rid of a lot of it. Now, I am a big Wolverine fan, so a crossover between Wolverine and Conan I kept. Now, What If Series 1, I had almost every one of them. I was missing maybe 2 or 3 and could have finished it. But, again, spacing, you got to make your decisions. Number 43, I do remember that. That was one of the ones I had in my original collection, so I wanted it back. As well as that one, number 13. And this is a Captain America story. I always like when they kind of take it from the point of where they started at and kind of finish telling the story. And there's What If Spider-Man's Uncle Ben Had Lived. Now this one was one of the ones in my original collection that I really loved, so I bought it again. Love that issue. Literally, they gain no superpowers, but yet they become a, quote, Fantastic Four to help fight and do stuff, so I thought it was pretty cool. And this one was just funny as all get out anyway at that time, so it was kind of a neat little spoof on all this stuff. Now, the next couple is really related to more around Spider-Man. There is the What If number 1. Again, that's actually where they actually have Spider-Man join. This is number 7. That is where they actually have multiple people as Spider-Man instead of it being just Peter Parker. There's What If he had actually saved Gwen Stacy. And then this one truly became an issue because what if Spider-Man's clone lived? Well, he did. So again, that's how we get all that Ben Reilly and all that kind of stuff later on, and storytelling that, you know, they kind of went through and did. But now this one was absolutely one of my favorites. It done everything from being a future story, because again, you get a future Captain America, future Avengers, great love story between Scarlet Witch and Vision, You get the Kingpin story with the Daredevil. So a lot of great stories with that one, and it was always one of my favorites. So I actually have two of those. Now this one I kept because it was the mix of the bullpen at the time. You got Jack Kirby, you got Stan Lee, and I couldn't remember who the others two were, but Flo, he says Flo, so I'm trying to remember who that was, but I remember somebody covered it one time, and like I said, I wanted it for that reason. This one's because of the X-Men crossover. That's if the Phoenix had not died. This one was in my original collection, so I wanted it again, and that's where it sort of tells it sort of like how Captain America did sort of in the movie. Instead of him reviving in the 60s, it took him all the way up till now, kind of thing. And again, being a Invaders fan, I wanted that one because it said if they stayed together afterwards. And the last one in that box, I got rid of all the giant size werewolf ones. I know some people will cringe at the idea of that, but I did. But I did keep the giant size creatures featuring Werewolf by Night. But mostly that is her first appearance, so I kind of wanted to keep that. So that's it. That's that box. So you can tell that box is pretty much a lock on keeping everything in there based out of right now. Except for maybe some of the doubles. I could thin that down some for that reason, and it may be what I do. So we'll see. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I appreciate all the thumbs up, likes, the new followers, and everything else. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one.